Happy Monday to everybody joining us. Welcome back to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and it is July 11th, 2022. Um, Happy beginning of earnings week. We're looking at some of our key earnings starting back up about midweek. We'll be hearing a lot from our banking and just general financial sector stocks as we transition to mid and late week. And then we certainly have some economic data to pay attention to as we get into Wednesday. But as we get started each and every week, we're going to take a look at what the market is pricing, how it relates to last week, and certainly the volatility expectations because we're looking at a week of catalyst, we might actually see some shakeup and a little bit more movement than what the market may be anticipating. So, based on last week's expected move for the S&P 500, we were looking at about a $94 expected move. There was also a mistake on my top level, which last week was about 39.15. I recalculated that after seeing the prices not matching up, and I was off by about 4 points. So I did adjust that for anyone who's keeping reference. But what you'll notice last week is we had price activity stay completely inside the expected move, with just the very minor touch that occurred on Friday. You'll actually note how significantly close the market got to our expected move in regards to precision for last week. And this is something that we discussed early last week, the idea that the market had been going through a period of inefficiency. Lots of the option expected moves were not behaving very well. We were getting a lot of 2+ sigma expected move closure outside of what the market had priced earlier in the week. And even amidst all of that, usually this was occurring Thursday and Friday of the week. So we would see these very violent trending style days, usually on the Friday, as we were well outside of what the market had expected for price movement. Last week was one of the first weeks where the market was able to close within expected move. And there certainly was a breach, but that breach was rectified on Friday. So conceptually, it was a week to consider stepping back into a shorter term option premium selling mode. Obviously, looking more at just the weekly expiration for now, but it showcases the market going from cycle of inefficiency back into a period of efficiency. And when we look at expected move is all about probability. If the market can close within its expected move, it showcases a 1 standard deviation expectation of where the price movement will be. And obviously, this occurs more often than not in an efficient market. So as we look at this week, we see that our topside level of about 39.94 brings us into our rough gap range. We have a runaway style gap or a breakaway style gap that occurred during the last CPI data report. We'll obviously talk about that in context with this week. We also have a downside of about 38.05, and this reflects a 95 approximately point expected move. What's interesting is last week was about 94 points as well. So the market is essentially saying that they're pricing the same amount of volatility this week. And if you recall, I brought up that this week is chock full of various catalysts. So when you're looking at what they're pricing today or on Friday's close, and you compare that with the type of economic activity occurring last week versus the economic activity occurring this week, you kind of see that there's a bit of a disparity. And what it showcases is that you might want to be a little cautious this week stepping into more premium selling, even though we did get an efficient market last week. For one, we have a lot of overnight or pre-market catalysts, things that can occur outside of your normal trade hours. That can be a little bit of a concern depending on the type of instrument you're using to trade, stop losses and or just risk definition in those moves that occur quite quickly during the pre-market hours. But additionally, there's a lot of them. And even though we do have CPI on Wednesday, more so as we get into a couple of the bank earnings, that volatility can easily bring the market in and out of these ranges very quickly, and it facilitates a more aggressive or maybe more active style this week. Whether you're a swing trader or someone who does carry positions overnight, this might be a more advantageous week to consider either longer term positions, i.e. something with a bit more time, or just staying on the day time frame and obviously being flat in cash each and every day, just taking advantage of the volatility intraday. So a little bit of note as to a similar expected move from last week compared to a week of high catalyst that usually doesn't always work well for the premium seller. And obviously they'll have to tolerate the volatility spikes in between. So last week, as we shift over into our SPY, we saw the market continue to be net bullish most of the last week, albeit lower participation volume. You know, there certainly isn't a lot of high indication that the market is done selling at this point. And even from a trending perspective, we have yet to make a daily higher high. So we're speculating that our trend line is indeed intact, but obviously the daily trend has not transitioned back into the bull's favor. You'll also notice that we're coming into a core resistance zone for the market. Whether we continue to make a little bit of an additional push this week, that certainly will run into multiple areas of resistance, whether it be the first one, which is our gap fill range. This is something that the market may attempt to perform, especially with our expected move being about mid-range of that area. We also have what is essentially a 7-day balance range in the SPY, something that was established by buyers and sellers agreeing to a price, and then of course a shake or a catalyst event in regards to the CPI readings, which forced the market into not only a new sell swing, but also a fresh relative low for the year. So this area of the market, the fact that we're coming into our trend line, and certainly with the market catalyst this week, this area is an area to consider for additional trade. We're certainly looking to reestablish any new positions, whether it be downside with aggression towards this trend line, and certainly a confirmed breakdown if we see another bear flag event. But we're also looking to see, is the market changing? And for this, I like to bring up just our key moving averages, our 20, our 50, and then of course our sloping 200 as it starts to turn bearish. The rally we've encountered so far, given its poor participation and obviously the lower volume readings, we certainly want to look at our 50 period coming in as another opportunity to consider getting short the market. And the reason being is, so far, what we've seen throughout this downside is our pullbacks tend to lead us to key moving averages, key tests of trend, and then of course a reversion back into sell swings or just more downside volatility, even if you're not targeting fresh lows. So as the market is rallying in a poor sense, we certainly don't have that breakout indicating that the downtrend is over. We want to pay attention to what occurs in these ranges. Obviously, stall any sort of bearish behavior and of course price activity confirming that signal would be a sign for us to consider going net short or potentially even targeting this area as we drift into it. And that certainly is the mindset of the trader who looks for relative targets on bounces, something like a reversal style trader, or even someone who's playing key price levels, one of which is the potential for the market to backtest 400. That would be an ideal spot to play as we get into that range, and then of course change your bias if the market gives you another sell signal for additional downside. Now, as we look at all this information, is there anything standing out that gives us a sense that the market is changing? And one thing to maybe pay attention to is indices that have already done the conceptual move that we've just proposed on the SPY. One of which has been the Nasdaq, which was a key leader in our price activity last week. And if we're looking at just relative trend lines, we're getting potential breakout signals here. Now, as with anything, you want to be looking at when does the breakout occur? Is there strength and participation involved in it? And if there isn't, it doesn't mean that it's going to completely fail, but we need to be careful of the potential to backtest or even revert to price levels inside of the trend before getting the full confirmation of a breakout. This is something that often will trap newer traders. They usually want to take the first expansion attempt, which is often either a test or is a relatively poor attempt to expand, typically due to the type of energy needed for the market to move in one direction. So be extremely careful as we look at the cues here. We're getting from a position location perspective where we should consider getting short. Retesting the 50. It's actually been a while since this market has tested the 50. And you'll notice here, as we came off of our 200 and sloping down 200 as well, going from a bullish market to bearish market, we return, we anchor ourselves to the 50. Very important concept for trending analysis. We anchor ourselves to a key moving average, and this is where we set up sell swings. Notice that it's been a while since we came here. The market has certainly drawn down outside of having to test this MA, but it's also key to note that this is where we expect further selling behavior to occur. And if that doesn't happen, that is notable. And then last but not least, our IWM. Similar concepts here, and obviously different kind of style of downtrend. There's more ranges built in between, but you'll notice that this drawdown either occurs on the weekly 20 or the daily 50. The pullbacks in this market are likely to interact with this area. Now, looking a bit at some indication of what could be in play this week. First and foremost, we had a market last week that rallied or went up in price with a strong dollar. So if the bulls are to continue this rally, they may want to see both dollar weakness and then additional participation in regards to volume. What we're seeing is a dollar breakout, and yet the market is not necessarily responding with relative weakness, at least not last week. This breakout as well has not topped out. You'll notice we're making fresh highs, and we just got above a rising neckline of a cup and handle structure, one of which is net bullish for the time being, with a measured move potential of approximately 110. So when we look at these structures, we're noting, okay, dollar strength, typically a risk off-ish signal. They're certainly not beneficial for all equities. Also, painful for metals. We saw gold break key support, and this was during the dollar breakout. You'll notice the type of inverse correlation we're getting with our metals into this dollar breakout, and certainly lots of the I would say the static metals, those are breaking down and looking at potentially much lower prices if dollar strength continues before even stabilizing in price. You compare that with copper as well. A lot of our commodities have collapsed recently, copper notwithstanding, and this is a indication of a lot of key economic activity as well. Noteworthy that we did make it to the weekly 200. Obviously defense versus full bullish behavior is likely to occur here. But overall, the structure here is very bearish. We saw the full high to low transition of our trading range. We even got pullbacks into key moving average resistance and then pulling down, breaking support levels. Obviously, the move has already occurred, but it's noteworthy how weak a lot of our commodities have been over the past couple of weeks, something that we really haven't looked at too much. Go to futures here. We could pull up a lot of key names like platinum. We can even start looking through some of our energy sector, of course, but ones that were driving a lot of behavior last couple of cycles were agriculture, which has been soybean, and where's corn? Corn, you'll notice the size of the drawdowns here, certainly occurring throughout some of the supply-demand adjustments that we've been working through with the economic climate. Also our lumber pricing, and of course, the gap down here is more of the rolling of the active contract, but you smooth this out. I should have already priced that in. Not sure why it's doing that. Apply that. Yeah, there should be a smooth curve there. So there's a massive drawdown in commodity pricing. And when we look at obviously the seasonality, the fact that we're mid-year, we saw energy come off significantly with the likes of some of the asset pricings coming down very violently as well. And then looking ahead as to what other sectors might there be some strength, we're looking at, once again, that later stage business cycle and the transition of some certain economic, I'll just say cycles, shifting around what pricing looks like in our equities. And while this is not necessarily the end of a drawdown phase in the S&Ps, usually this period of time is not also indicative of large bullish activity. Usually an area of flatter trade, relatively stable pricing, and often back and forth types of moves, usually highs and lows being established on wider time frames. We're going to look at that a little bit more this week, different economic stages. I have a little bit more of a visual guide as to how that works, and obviously what's in play during those times, what's typically net bullish and net bearish, and where can we gain edge if that information is true. So looking ahead for the week, and we'll kind of end our discussion here. We have a couple of noteworthy economic data drops. Obviously, a lot of people are focused in on Wednesday with our CPI readings, but throughout Monday and Tuesday, things are fairly calm. We have a couple of bits and pieces for today, which, oh, actually, no, sorry, not today, tomorrow. Where is it? Not seeing it here, actually. Might have to double check my calendar. But for the most part, our main data bit of information is going to occur on Wednesday. We also have Thursday with PPI following thereafter. We compare that with earnings, which I also mentioned. We're starting earnings week, so we're kicking off earnings in a lot of names that are going to be large S&P movers. And while Monday and Tuesday are not your heavy hitters, we sort of kick things off on Wednesday with Fastenal, Delta Airlines, and to some degree, Info Systems. But Thursday is when we start off our bank earnings. We have the likes of JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley on Thursday. We also have TSM, fairly notable semiconductor name and something that has been in play over the past couple of sessions. We'll go ahead and shift this over into a market cap view, and you'll notice most of these are in the pre-market session before market open, but also kind of take note at the market cap here. Taiwan Semiconductor, very high market cap relative to other companies. And then, of course, JP Morgan, one of the larger banking names compared to the likes of Bank of America, Citi, and there's one more that's kind of a key name, Wells Fargo. You look at Friday as well, if I can go back to the view here. Friday as well, sorted by market cap, and obviously everything's going to be before market open, but sorted by that market cap. It's also notable to see that United Healthcare is on Friday. This is our largest healthcare name in the S&P, coming in at about 450 billion. You follow that up with Wells Fargo and Citi, and then of course the list goes on with BlackRock, another notable name to pay attention to, especially in regards to net capital flow coming through this company. This is a key name in regards to ETF holdings, holds a lot of just funds in regards to a high institutional involvement, and the money flow coming through this company indicates what to expect for future quarters, along with what has been occurring, over the past 6 months. And that's certainly with our correction and drawdown in the S&Ps. So these events, the S&P pricing in a fairly low expected move. You combine all that into a thesis idea for the week. We have CPI on Wednesday, an area where the market may not really start to move until we get this information out. You compare that with what we normally do, where we look at things like where is the market pricing high open interests for the S&P. Remember, I'm looking at the SPX here, and I'm also avoiding this AM settled series. This is a Friday series, but I want the one that's closing at Friday's close. Look at where this open interest tends to lie. You'll notice a lot of hedging behavior out in more out of the money premium. The likes of 3,400 standing out as one of the higher open interest nodes. But even as you get closer to price, you'll notice that 3,800 still has high participation relative to pricing around it. And you'll also want to note, do we have a lot of upside? Are people expecting the market to move forward first before seeing any sort of bearish activity? And we can certainly see that 4,000 also stands out. This will likely grow throughout the week. This is just open interest at this time. And it also dictates the expected move. There wasn't necessarily a lot of participation occurring even inside the option market. Volatility has sort of not necessarily collapsed, but been on the lower side. We've even seen things like trendline breaks, quote unquote, inside the VIX. Note that we are gapping back above. We're back inside that trendline range. And we don't have a lot of active premium, I'll say, acceleration, the likes of which can be seen by the VVIX. So you remove something like the indicators here, you pull this out to a wider time frame, we're seeing um, low readings in regards to, are people hedging? Are firms actually going out and paying for volatility premium? And are they doing it right now? The answer is no. Volatility of volatility, or the VVIX itself, really has drawn down quite significantly. That doesn't mean it can't change. We're in a position where the market can actively begin to hedge very aggressively in the opposite direction. But we haven't seen that signal yet. That has allowed the market to sort of have this bullish drift over the past couple of weeks. Pay attention if this ever changes, especially this week. As we look at our vol futures, a very simple way to state this is, are the vol futures close to going into backwardation? And right now with our active contract, only 9 days left. So this is likely going to continue to roll. But comparing, let's say, our 37s to our 72s, basically our August to September, we only have about a 70-cent spread here. They're close to being relatively flat. And volatility pricing is still elevated. It's not necessarily reading bearish or bullish, but it's elevated in price. We're seeing, for the most part, your stable trade tends to be around a 26, 25 VIX, and typically a 26 active volatility futures pricing. So keep all that in mind. If we start to see some movement here, especially into Wednesday, that can actively be a trade in motion, a more directional biased move. And obviously, if things come in as a surprise, we've seen, for the most part, bearish behavior into our CPI reading. So if the market's expecting something like that and it's different, obviously that can change the bias and obviously the type of move that we see. So with all that said, my name is Jared. Start the week off strong. We have plenty to look forward to. Keep your risk in check. This is a week to maybe not play too much around with the expected move as sort of your key factor for selling premium. Watch out for volatility events. Markets are sort of poised to do something here, and we're going to see if we can get the signals needed to initiate trade. So with all that said, stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the PreMarket Prep. I hope everyone is having an amazing morning. Hope everyone had an incredible, let me get my camera. There we go. An incredible weekend. So welcome, guys. Let's give Jared a big thumbs up for engineering the markets every single morning. We appreciate that very much. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Absolutely. Good morning, Carlos. I'm doing well. How are you, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing real good. I had a great, relaxing weekend, and ready to start this week. So, um, excellent. All right, guys. So let's get to it. Let's look at our gappers list this morning, which was open and now is closed for some reason. Oh, it's just minimized. There we go. Okay, here we are. So here's our gappers list today, guys. We got a couple of things in the green, not a whole lot. DWAC and PLRX. DWAC, we know it's not a great intraday trader. We'll see what's happening there. They're up 13%, and then PLRX, lowish flow up a nicely 57% right now. Tons of stuff in the red, leading off with Twitter. Obviously, if you guys know, Twitter has not been having a good time now with Elon backing off on his deal there. So we'll stay tuned. I think it's going to be in play for a while, at least up and down. We'll just see if it's going to be tradable. That's going to be the thing with all the catalysts going on there.
Oh,
Then
it'll be
below that,
tradable.
yeah.
It's
Below that,
that's gonna go on for a very long time. I mentioned
it
this on
is.
Twitter when I saw that news come out. The second I saw it, I was like, "Wow, Twitter." I don't know how smart that is. Anybody that knows anything about law and
Hmm.
the disclosure process when you're involved in a trial of any sort, that could be nasty for Twitter.
Oh yeah. That's not good for them at all, man. Hopefully they're able to figure something out here. But yeah, this is gonna be it's getting ugly based on what we're hearing so far already about possible suing for this, suing for that, and it's just messy. Um, so below that, guys, we got a ton of other stuff happening here. We got Mara and Riot both down big today, 6%. We'll look into Bitcoin and other coins as well. And yeah, so we got a pretty nice day today. The SPY right now, Norm, down a bit this morning. Not a whole lot after having a great week last week. What's the latest and greatest on our
Yeah, we had a
uh mhm.
pretty decent week last week. I don't see a whole lot of reason we're down. I mean, it's not on a ton of volume or anything. It's pretty light. So, I think we're just kind of in this range right here. We'll see how the day and how the week plays out. But yeah, there's a lot of China on the DAT gap down list. You can see they've got some more COVID concerns. I know there were some casinos that are getting hit in Macau because of COVID lockdowns and such. We've got Bitcoin up here in play as well. So yeah, let's keep going.
All right, absolutely. All right, my friends, let's take a look here at our gappers list this morning. Now, let me make some rows in here. Here we go. All right, and we'll start with PLRX. So let's start there. PLRX this morning, we are, if this will work. I know I linked it. Let me see here.
I will say that this is a biotech. They had some positive news about a um, drug they had over the weekend. So
All right, so here, this is up
and this
56%,
morning.
guys. I mean, you guys just got to be careful. These are different type of animals, as we mentioned before in the past. 7 million shares traded. Definitely low flow of the day so far. So just be mindful of these type of companies. PLRX. We'll put that on here. Definitely in play this morning, up 55%. Here's DWAC. So DWAC is up 14%. Is this because Twitter is going to kind of the toilet a little bit? Is that what it is, or they have their own thing going on?
Exactly, brother.
Yeah, right. So they're up 14%. Just they're not the best intraday trading stock, but maybe today they can pull something off. We'll put them as a possible for now. We will come back to that. SWN just popped up on our gap up list. So far, it's not doing a whole lot. Doesn't have a great volume. Not a great pre-market activity, so it needs a whole lot to get going here. I don't expect it'll do great. It had one day here that it did something back on the 5th of July. Outside of that, it hasn't really done a whole lot of volume. So we'll come back to that. Southwestern Energy, it's an energy company, so I don't expect great trading out of that in the intraday anyway.
This
So,
one's popped up on the scanners off and on for the last few weeks. It's oil and gas. They got an upgrade this morning out of Wells Fargo, but nevertheless, it's
hmm yeah. Um, all right, let's see what's gapping down today. Obviously, the elephant in the room, guys, Twitter. So we'll put that on deck. And you guys already know what's going on there. 3.4 million. This thing is down 6.3 today. So yeah, this will be fun. This will be fun. If we don't get into like a whole chop fest, this can be a pretty nice one for today. So Riot and Mara, I said some of these Bitcoin stuff is down today a little bit. No, I'm down. Mara 6.3, Riot 6.6. Is it overall Bitcoin down today? Hashtag.
Well, I mean, not really.
BTC.
Bitcoin's relatively flat, but if you look
Mm-hmm.
at Bitcoin on the weekly chart or daily chart, it's not the strongest of
Mm-hmm.
trends that
Mm-hmm.
it's in, and I think that people are worried about more downside here. So
Yeah.
that's one of the issues. I know there's some questions about miners and so forth, so that's going on too. But I'm not seeing anything new on that this morning.
Yeah. I remember when 20 was a big deal, and we're right on that at the moment. So yeah, that could be frustrating. All right, so Mara, I mean, I have not traded these in a very long time, guys, but maybe today we can get something good out of these. I'm gonna put Mara here on deck, so we'll add Mara to the list. We'll add Ryan. We'll come back and look at both of those and see if there's any opportunities for us to take advantage of there. My mouse keeps skipping. It's weird. Uh,
I apologize for the camera, guys. I had fixed this issue, and now apparently it's back. So you get me look like I'm posing for a Sears portrait studio shot,
Sears.
gazing up and to the
Oh
right.
man, yes. Looking into the sunset. Um, just resetting my mic here because it's glitching for whatever reason. All right, so Twitter, we have Mara and Riot both here. Again, both gapping down pretty big today, 6%. Volume is okay. We definitely seen better in the past, but let's see if that's gonna mean anything for us today. Here's Billy. Billy's down 5.7. As you mentioned, Norm, plenty of Chinese stocks down today. You have Baba, you have Lee, JD, Neo. I mean, the whole crew is here, guys. So it's quite a bit. I'm gonna definitely be looking at Baba. It's one of my favorite stocks to trade when it comes to Chinese tickers. So we'll look at Baba for now, and then we can always add on later if we need to. But Billy, EDU, UPST. UPST is not Chinese, is it? This is not a
What's that?
Chinese ticker.
EDU?
No,
Yes.
no, EDU. I know. Yes, the education center, whatever. But how about UPST? Is this Chinese
No,
too or
Upstart
no?
is not. No,
Upstart is not yet. So Upstart had a big gap
it's
down
just a
last
raging
week.
dumpster fire.
It really is, man. I mean, guys, this stock was trading at 100 plus, 420. I mean, this thing, wow. So we're now here, $25, gapping down another 5%. This is after gapping down on Friday as well. But I remember we had no shares for short, and that sucks. So I don't see any shares for short again today. So I just don't see this being a good one to add to the list.
They did
So
get
yeah,
so on top of their other issues that we discussed last week, what they were lowering their guidance and such, and they also got downgraded this morning out of Goldman. I believe Goldman put them on a did they put them on a sell rating? From neutral to sell, and moved their price target from $40 to $14. Now, if you go back a month and a half, May 10th, 2 months almost to the day exactly, Goldman had their price target at 250, and on that day lowered it to 40. So, are you there, Carlos? I can't hear you, brother.
I am on mute. Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But mostly I was laughing.
Yeah, I mean, it's two. If you rewind in 2 months and 2 days, so May 9th,
Yeah.
Goldman still had a $250 price target on this.
This was right here. May 9th was
Yeah.
here before the nice well, not nice, but before the huge gap down. So yeah, that has not been fun at all. Again, we had it on the list yesterday as a possible, but then we figured we had no shares for sure, and I didn't really look at it on Friday. So not sure what to do here, guys. Eventually you might get an opportunity to play this, for a pop, but I just don't see it. All right, let's see here, guys. What else? Then the rest of the stuff is all Chinese. We got
Carlos, I'm gonna
Oxy
give you
here.
a no.
Yeah, give it no on that one. I could not disagree with that at all. Here is Oxy, guys. Oxy down 3.1. Not a great pre-market activity, but that's typical Oxy action for us. We'll put Oxy here. They can actually trade a lot better. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see something here. Something is skipping. I don't know what's causing my computer to skip here. Let me see if it's this. I'm gonna redo this linkage because it happened after I did this. Maybe that's it. I don't know. All right, so Oxy's good. We'll put it on here. Let's see if that can do anything for today. Down 3% this morning, and I think we're pretty good for now. I see Uber. I see Meta. They're on here. Again, Meta probably could be interesting. Uber can be a little tough at times, so unless they have any significant news storms. I'm not aware of anything big with them as far as that goes. Snap here is also down 2.1, another one that has really
I
light
was on
volume for
mute.
the
I'm
most
sorry.
part.
Uber does have news. I
Oh,
don't know that it's really anything too interesting. It's actually 5+ year old news that apparently they had put in measures and procedures to essentially keep if a regulatory agency came in to raid their offices, it either stopped or greatly limited what they were able to get in their computer systems. So, but that was from when the founder Travis Kalanick was actually still with the company, and he left, I believe, in 2017.
yeah,
So
yes, it's
it's
pretty
old
old.
news. I don't know if it's going to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We'll keep it off for now. I mean, Uber can be tough to trade at times, even with a soft catalyst like that. A strong catalyst may be a little bit different. How about Roblox, guys? This thing was on fire on Friday. It just kept going up. Had a nice day breakout here on this daily. Today, not a whole lot of volume, down 2% right now, 143,000. But man, this thing was trading very clean with some great volume the last couple of days. So it will be interesting to see what it does today, pulling back a little bit here. But Roblox definitely trading well, at least the last couple of days. All right, that is what we have. Norm, anything you like on your end so far this morning?
Did you look at Oxy?
We did. I have Oxy today.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I was dealing with a tech issue over here. Well, they got a downgrade out of Goldman this morning as well, so that'll be tradable.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, that could be nice today for sure. Because and don't mind the pre-market activity, guys. They usually don't have a quiet pre-market. Although this one, if you notice a volume, you've been looking at Oxy quite a bit. This is on the higher side, and it must be because of that catalyst. So Oxy looking good this morning. All right, let's take it to the chat room, see what you guys have today. Let's start here with Waycott. You're giving us PLRX. We did look at this, I think. Yeah, we have it down here. So again, this is looking pretty good, guys. It is a pharmaceutical company or therapeutic company, I believe. So be careful.
It's
These
a
tend to
biotech,
be,
yeah.
yeah, biotech. They
Move
can be
wildly.
wild, man. They can move so
Just be
aggressive.
very careful.
And we're seeing that now. I mean, we're looking at it now, going from $10 to 14, going from 13.77 to almost $1, 14 something here. So very careful, guys. Pre-market is looking good. It is in play. Just make sure you have a plan for this, right? If you're gonna be watching this. UPST was 4-1. Yeah, Mao, yeah. It's wild. This thing was a 4 something, now at 25 bucks. Can you imagine? I'm sure nobody's holding this from that high. I mean, I hope not. Holding, thinking it's going to come back. I mean, it's just, you just never know. Oh, it'll never get to 40, you'll never get to 50, and we're at 25. Got to be very careful. Here's Meta. We did look at Meta quickly. I did add it on my secondary list. Not doing a whole lot right now, but again, a good one to keep on deck here. Tunde, you're giving us Tesla. I guess you like Tesla today. Tesla this morning. Good daily on Tesla. Pre-market action does look, I like Tesla, yeah. Pre-market action looks very good after 7 a.m. here. You also have a very nice daily as well. And if you look at Tesla on the daily, you kind of been in this range, right? The range is basically here's your top of it, here's the bottom of it. A few times we did below, right over here. But for the most part, you've been in this range for quite a bit. So we're back at it here after a couple of days in the green. This could be nice. I like Tesla today. So setting up nicely for a possible breakout. Let's hope we can get it. And the fact that the SPY is slightly down, not by much, and Tesla is up is a really good sign for Tesla today. All right, Meta, we have Tesla is good. Plug is interesting. Let's take a look. Plug, the daily is interesting on Plug. Volume is a little bit light on the pre-market right now. But yeah, that could be interesting. We'll add Plug to the list as a possible. Definitely looking better than other possibles that I have on deck here. Let's see here. I forgot to check my other chat over on YouTube. Let's see what you guys have there. Microsoft. Jose is giving us Microsoft. Let's see. Pretty quiet right now. 87,000. You're down slightly. Not a whole lot going on. Daily looks okay. Even Apple is quiet today, only with 387,000. So the tech side seems to be a little quiet this morning. Nvidia only 245. They'll pick up, right? They always get the volume, but right now they look really quiet, guys. AMD probably looks like the most active, down 1.8, 550,000. maybe we'll look at AMD. But for the most part, the other ones are looking pretty quiet today. Let's give it some time for them to pick up here. All right, guys, good. One more, last one here. Then we'll take a look at, well, two more, Bank of America, Citigroup, and TDOC. We'll take a look at these, and then we'll head over to our community events and announcement for this week. Let's start with Bank of America. They had a nice little pop last week when numbers came out, but today, man, this is pretty quiet on Bank of America. I don't see anything good. They're both lowering. What PT lowered there this morning from Jefferies, so they got a downgrade or something.
Yeah, that would be a downgrade.
Yeah, so Citigroup here. Yeah, it's not doing a whole lot right now. Maybe we'll have to check in at the market open. Then last but not least, TDOC. Let's take a look here. TDOC, this is definitely no, not in play today. No volume, just nothing happening here. And even when we get volume, it's not a great trader as well.
BAC actually got an upgrade.
Which one?
Well, Bank of America actually got an upgrade as well. I don't see the downgrade here. They're saying the price target reduction, but they have an upgrade this morning as well. So it's kind of a little bit of both.
Oh, gotcha. All right, excellent, guys. Let's go over to our community events and announcements. You can get these by going to our website over here, clicking on webinars. And when you do that, you're going to see everything that's coming up for this week and next. So definitely check that out there.
Yeah, it's a reminder, every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Carlos does onboarding. That's onboarding and tech, goes through how to start up with Bearable Traders and everything else. It's open to all membership categories, even trial members. So go ahead and check that out this evening if you're new. Tuesday, strategy. Tomorrow, we've got Thor talking about market theory at 8 p.m. Then the following week is Artie. He's going to be talking about introduction to day trading options. 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, psychology. This week we've got Kreda. Take note of that special time, 5 p.m. Eastern. She's going to talk about imagining your way to trading success. Then the following week, Mike's going to be talking about how to set up a psychology training plan. Thursday, we've got mentorship. We've got John at 11, Ed at 4, and Thor at 8. Earnings season starts this week. Don't forget, we've got the banks coming in, which generally marks the start. That's Thursday morning. We've got some earnings coming in Thursday afternoon too. So Ed will start live after hours trades at 4, and then 4:30 he'll get into his presentation kind of stuff. Don't forget about StockTradingSimulator.com, our free web-based trading simulator. Also, replay simulator. If you go to TradingTerminal.com, you can also find the simulator that way. Over on the nav bar on the left-hand side, you'll see simulator as an option. You can go directly there from there. Also, I mentioned the trial membership a moment ago. That is, if you use the promo code PreMarket24, you'll get a discount off that. That's 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Also, still going on, Read 50. You can use that promo code to get half off the Elite Annual membership and a free coaching session one-on-one with Dr. Reed. Keep waiting for him to tell me to stop, but I have not heard that command yet, that he's gotten too busy with those. So still in effect.
All right, guys, take advantage of that. Definitely a great way to start your trading career there. So, all right, guys, excellent. Let's get to it. Let's see what we have here. We have Ababa, Oxy, Twitter, Tesla, and AMD. So we got a pretty decent list so far for a Monday. Not too bad. Some of these possibles, Plug, okay. Meta is okay. They're gapping down, but just I'm not seeing anything great pre-market wise. Dwack. Dwack is very active today, guys. I know it does not trade very well, but this is looking very good. You know, up 16.1, 889. That might not be bad for today. Let's put this one up. Dwack right now. Volume is good. Pre-market action is great. I'm always concerned how this thing is going to tread the market open, but all signs today are looking pretty decent. The issue with them is their daily's out of whack, as you can see here, and they barely get volume. But today we're almost doing what they do on a daily, just in the pre-market. So maybe that can trigger some better pre-market activity in the intraday action today after the bell. UPST, Mara, and Riot both on here. Again, they got volume. They're down today. I'll come back to these when I get closer to 9:15. And then we have Roblox, which again has been so good the last couple of days, man. So definitely going to be keeping a close eye on that one. Have it as a possible right now. Might end up moving that up. And of course, the low flow of the day today now up 64%, trying to get a 15 here. This is what you want to see on a low flow type stock, right? So we talk about not having this one initial candle go up like this, and then you got all these little fake outs dropping down. and you're trading, 3.8 million, right? So that's not what you want to see. You want to see this right here. Starts off very nice, continues with the volume. You're basically looking for these ABCD patterns over and over again. ABCD, ABCD, got the nice staircase. That is what you want to see with volume if you're going to be trading anything that is a low flow stock, right? This right here, the initial pop up and then the sell off like that, that's not interesting at all. This is why we usually, when we see this, we take it off immediately. So, all right, with that said, we'll start doing levels in a second here. Let's take a look. I know we're starting earnings week. Let's take a look here at a tradingterminal.com, guys. Definitely take a look at that. You got your calendar right over here, and you can quickly go look at what's coming up for earnings. So as we kick off, I see a couple of travel companies here. I see Delta at least in here. That should be fun. See how the airlines and travel companies are doing. But we got a couple of names. Morgan Stanley banks are coming in first. Usually Friday we have a lot of banking stocks in here, US Bank. So that'll be fun. That'll be see what's going on there. And then next week, when do we get the tech stuff? Tech stuff is really when things get going, right? So next week we start seeing some tech type companies. And we had a lot of fun in the last earnings season. So looking forward to this one. We got Tesla, Interactive Brokers, Netflix. We got a couple of real nice big names that trade very well. So I'm looking forward to that as well. All right, and then Monday, also more banking stocks next Monday here. So, guys, tradingterminal.com, take a look at it. You can find tons of information on here, as we mentioned before, including your earnings calendar there. So, all right, heading back to our list, let's do some levels. Let's start with BABA here. So I have BABA on deck. They're down 4.1. If you were with us earlier, you noticed that there's a ton of Chinese stocks that are down today. Quite a bit, around that 5%, 4% target percentage. BABA, JD, Lee, Neo. We saw Billy's on here as well. Again, there's just a ton of stuff here. XPEV that are down this morning. EDU, which is horrible. But again, if you're looking for any Chinese stocks, I'm going to pick BABA out of all of them. That is my favorite one to trade. So this is the one I will keep on deck. Let's do levels for this one. We have 115.67 is the low of the pre-market for this one right now. You can see there's a little bit of action on the daily as well here, guys. If you draw a line right on there, just a little bit of action, a couple of days, kind of closing, opening right around that area, using that as support and resistance. So that's a good level to try to hold. We did gap down and immediately we went right to that level and found support early this morning. And so far this morning, at least tested it twice on the way down there, trying to stay above that 115.67. Below that, very clear level of support here on the day. That's going to be 112.13. Why do I pick this one instead of this one, right? You might ask, well, why am I not taking this week and take this instead? Well, look to the left, right? The left is going to give you more information. The left is the history of what the stock has done in the past. And if you look to the left, it's 112. You can tell here and here we had some action on that 112. In the past. So that's why I'm going to pick that one instead of the one before, right? It is an area. So if you pick the one below it, that's perfectly fine. You're a couple of cents off from 112.13. Remember, any levels are not an exact target. They're an area. In some cases, we do hit them right on the head, right? We've seen that happen plenty of times because we're all looking at the same thing if you're doing daily levels. But for the most part, keep in mind that they are an area. 108.22, another level down here. Again, I don't think we're that weak to come all the way down here, but 112.13, that is definitely possible today. If we decide to bounce back, the high of the pre-market will be sitting at 116.96, so we'll slam a level there. And then above that, we do have a minor area of support resistance, 118.96. Might actually be 119. You got a couple of days opening and closing right around that area as well. Slightly above that, highs and lows from the last two trading days, and we'll see how this thing does. I mean, we had a beautiful breakout last week out of this one, what is 120, 121 maybe right here, and beautiful breakout. It traded very, very well. And now we're just getting slammed down here on some not so good news from China and some more lockdowns and whatever's happening over there. So here is Oxy. Oxy also has a catalyst today. Their low of the pre-market sitting at 58.60. So we'll put a level there. You can see on the daily also tons of touches on that 58.60. And then towards the bottom, this is a great level too, guys. 56.82. Just a lot going on right there. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful bounces. That's a lot of buying pressure coming in right at 56.82. We saw this last week. Every time they went down, they found a way to bounce back up. And if you guys remember the intraday, because we've been playing Oxy a lot because it's been really good. You just had this V reversals, right? Sell off at the market open, and then just this V reversal bounce right back to the high of the day, which is weird. We did that a couple of times here on Oxy. Today we're on the way down as well. Towards the bottom, we're looking at 54.30, so we'll slam a level there. And then towards the top, previous day close. Some of these levels from last time are still pretty good. 63.08, which is your high from last trading day. 63.96, still good right there. And then 65.72, also an area. Not so much weight on that one, but you do got some stuff happening there as well. All right, so that is Oxy. Let's look at Twitter right now. So Twitter, I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun with Twitters. I think it's going to be in play for some time to come as the battles of the lawyers and courts and all that begin here. Between Twitter and Elon. 33.49 is the low of the pre-market. The high of the pre-market is going to be sitting over at a 35.17. So we'll slam a level there as well. And then towards the bottom, I mean, the price right now, I like where the price is sitting at. I mean, you have a little bit of resistance happening here, right? And you got some support happening the last couple of minutes. So I am going to mark down that 34.43. I think that's worth having on deck there. And we'll see if that's going to mean anything for them today. If you go to the left, you can see that 34.41 or 34.43 also has some touches right on here in March, right? You can see a lot of support and definitely some resistance happening right at that where the price is now. So we're seeing a little action happening there. The price action flirting with that 34.43. Let's see if that's going to mean anything. And then towards the bottom, we haven't been down here since March, and we have a target here at 32.68 and over at 31.98. All right, so there's Twitter, guys. We'll see where this goes. Again, down 6.4, great volume. We're going to see some action today out of that, that's for sure. Here is Tesla, guys. Love this daily. We talked about the two big ranges we have here. This one being here, the bottom one being here. A couple of times we did below that, but for the most part, we've been hanging around between this 750, 760 to 2685, right? So it's just been stuck in there. Pre-market actually looks very active today towards the upside, so very nice. We were down a bit and then just recover again here as far as being green or red. So back in green territory. Can we break out of this? The few times we had a couple of targets here. We had 791, almost $800 there, and then we also had 777 and 31 cents. So that could be another area as well for us when it comes to Tesla. But looking good right now. Pre-market is very active. Even if it doesn't go up, it can be an opportunity to head back to the low side of this range here. 740, 730. We got a couple of levels here, highs and lows of the last two trading days. AMD here. So AMD just kind of stuck in this range between 80 and seems to be 77. So your highs and lows are doing an amazing job there, right? So it has captured the range that we are stuck in at the moment. And right now, pre-market, we haven't really done much. We traded some volume, 601,000, but we really haven't moved anywhere as far as the action. I know our pre-market high is all the way up here, 78, 97, but I'm going to mark down this area here because clearly you can see the struggle trying to get above that 78.32, now bouncing between 77.82 and 78.32. So you got this thing happening here as we get tighter into a range. Hopefully this can create a nice breakout. But tech today, though, besides Tesla, tech today seems to be on the quieter side. If we look at Microsoft, right, it's pretty quiet at the moment. AMD is probably the better one. Apple have really low volume as well. If we look at Apple, I mean, only less than 500,000. By now, we've seen Apple have tons of activity. We're not seeing that, and they're pretty much flat. And if we look at not NVIDIA, but NVIDIA, if we look at NVIDIA, same thing here. It's just really light volume on the tech side. I don't see a whole lot going on there. Even when tech is going sideways, Apple usually gives you volume, and we're not seeing that today. So rather interesting there. All right, let's take a look at what else, where we left off. Tesla, we got levels for that. That is good to go. AMD, we have levels for you, which we didn't do much, just the high and low of the pre-market. The rest is set for you. Let's look at Dwack. I think today could be a good day for Dwack as far as being able to trade this thing. As Twitter is spiraling out of control, Dwack is trying to take advantage here of that situation. So 27.22, low of the pre-market, 31.79, the high of your pre-market. Here you have a couple of days, 28.40, some good levels here, man. The more I look at the stock in this daily, it better put in something real good today for us to trade it, because their daily is just horrible. As far as volume and everything, this is not a good idea to keep this on deck. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I change my mind and bring this down. 28.40. good level there as far as support and resistance. And then another great level over here at 29.47. My concern with these is that we're doing it with such low volume. I don't know how significant these levels are going to be. I mean, we only traded 1.9 million shares traded down here or less, right? So that's not great. We'll see. Today already 900,000. So we're trading more than half of what we do on a regular basis. So I think today could be a day where we can capture some movement here, take advantage of some opportunities on DWAC. Even if it goes back down and sells off, we do have shares for short that we can take advantage of here. So that is DWAC there. Let's take a look at our chat. What do you guys have this morning? We're all set as far as our levels here. 9:02. We got a little bit of time. Secondary list is Plug, Meta, starting to get going there. UPST, Mara, Riot, and Roblox. And Roblox probably the better ones out of all of these at the moment. Maybe Meta could be going, but so far these are very, very quiet. I don't see anything great. PLRX continues to try to get to 15, up 61%. Almost 10 million shares traded so far. So that's looking pretty exciting. Did anybody trade PLRX already? Anyone take a shot at that? I know there's someone. I hope you did well. If you did, if you took a pre-market action on that. Let's get some comments here. So Chris MC Carlos Rivian got lit. Let's see what's going on with Rivian. I would expect a break of 33, maybe 32.20 before reversing. Let's look at Rivian. We got volume on Rivian today. Rivian, got some stuff happening here. So nice on the daily. Last couple of days, man, it's just been ripping. Look at Rivian here. That's looking really nice. Over to 33.20, just like you said there, right? Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to 33 pretty much in a couple of minutes here if we keep going this way. So yeah, Rivian is interesting. It's not there yet for me. I need more volume out of this, but definitely worth keeping an eye on, especially with the way it's been trading the last couple of days. Right? If we look at the daily here, this daily looks real nice. But let's check the action. Let's go back. That's my type of action there, pre-market wise. Yeah, little struggle here. Then look at the breakout high of the day. That is pretty good. How much volume we did that with? About 20 million. I wish it was more, but that's not bad. It's not bad. That's a great action. Let's go back to Thursday. Also another rip here after struggling a little bit. Looks like the stock likes to struggle a little bit and then the breakout. So for those traders that, man, if you're struggling at the market open, 15 minutes in, an hour in, just to pay attention. Some of these stocks, after an hour and a half, an hour, they settle down and you have some good opportunities. And you see this a lot in many stocks. You know who does this quite a bit? Apple. Apple tends to do that. Well, not Friday, but Friday here took off. Friday, everything was great, by the way. We had such a nice rip on Friday. But there's many stocks that do this. That first half hour, they're doing that sideways action. And if you're patient, you can catch some good opportunities. Here's Apple on another Thursday. Again, first half hour struggling, and then you have the breakout, right? So if you find yourself struggling within this time frame, change your time frame. Give yourself a little more time. There's always opportunities that you can find throughout the day. So be mindful of that. You do not have to force things on during times that they're not working out. All right, what else we have? So our Rivian is good. DWAC scares me. Yeah, Maribeth, I'm with you. DWAC, I have it here because everything besides the daily and our prior experience looks good, right? But the daily and our prior experience with this one is horrible. I am giving it the benefit of the doubt that today we're going to actually, and I'll be honest, I'm probably looking for a sell-off here. I don't think this thing can hold anything above, anything towards the top. I think it's like, hey, we got this little spike, we're excited, but at the end of the day, no matter what Twitter does, I think this thing is going. It's just not going to hold anything great. I don't think it is. I mean, who's using DWAC? I mean, I don't even know what's the service that they provide. What's the not Twitter, the name of the actual messaging or whatever they do. Let's Google this thing. We got a little bit of time. What is the name? Is it The Truth? Something with The Truth? Anyone knows? See, you guys don't even know. Truth Social. Okay, good. Anyone signed up for Truth Social? How about that? Truth Social website. Join the Truth Social. Join. Okay. So we sign up here. Truth dot. That's it. You don't get nothing else. What's this? Oh, okay. Interesting. I mean, it's Twitter. It's basically Twitter called Truth. It's exactly the same thing. So, all right, interesting. Anybody signed up for Truth yet? Is it any good? Nope, not signed up yet. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough sell, man. It's gonna be a tough sell. Um, all right, excellent. What else do we have, guys? So that's that DWAC. Again, today I just don't think that the app is gonna go anywhere. Me personally, you gotta move a lot of people, man. And when you have Twitter already and some other social medias that are doing so well, that's a tough business to be in. So I like this for sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. No bias, but we'll see what happens. Okay, what else you guys have? AMD for ORB. Yeah, AMD. Yeah, I have AMD. I'm not sure for ORB yet. We'll figure out what kind of strategy we'll get on this thing. But I like the fact that we're stuck right in here in the middle. We got some levels going on there. The range is much tighter right now, at least this morning. Very, very tight within almost within the range for Friday as far as the open and close. So maybe we can get some nice breakout out of this. But again, we're gonna need some help from the Qs, obviously. How about the travel sector? Have we done anything there? American Airlines really, really quiet. How about CCL? They have not been having a great time, guys. I mean, they hit as low as $8 last week or the week before, right? They hit 806. That's without including the pre-market. But here we know their all-time low is over at 7, not their all-time low, but the low from the pandemic, 778, right? So right on there is we're not far from that at all. So uh, but not really in play today. Anyways, GM, Carlos, any thoughts on Lucid? Good morning. Oh, not GM, but good morning. Yes, good morning to you as well, Fabio. Lucid today. Let's see what's going on with Lucid this morning. It's pretty quiet. They're pretty much flat right now. We need more volume out of this. They can get decent volume, not great, right? Sometimes they'll do 50, but they get decent volume at 25,000. The last couple of days been trading really, really good, right? We've seen some really good action out of that, especially on this was Wednesday. Look at Wednesday. Look at a beautiful breakout Wednesday. And we had something on Wednesday, right? We had a catalyst on this thing Wednesday. I forget what it was. Was it the numbers? I forget something, but they did well Wednesday. And we talked about that in the pre-market. You can see the pop there. So I don't know about a continuation now. We're at an area where obviously we struggle quite a bit to get above. Look at this previous day close. That is a major area for them. They're gonna need a lot of help to push above that. But the last couple of days, putting a nice couple of wins here as far as being green for the day. So that could be interesting. You lost the screen on YouTube. Oh, there we go. I'll bring it back for you guys. Sorry about that. There you go. Bring it back. So Isaac, I brought the screen back. Thanks for pointing that out, man. Okay, excellent. We are set, guys. Levels are good. Everything is prepared here. The screen that we had up, it was actually this one here, which is our chat room. So for those that have not joined tonight, we're going to have an onboarding class 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we are going to be showing you this, giving you a little bit of an insight of our community. So definitely come check us out. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Here you have our announcements tab, all the moderators, any major announcements happening today will be posted here. You can see already Thor, Mike, Eamon, and Dima have their list together, ready to rock and roll. And then here are our members chatting, getting ready for the market open. So you also get access to scanners. So you have the trade idea scanners here, gap up and gap down. And you're going to have some more scanners as well as we move forward. There's tons of other, like about 19 scanners that we have here available for you. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's get to our moderators lineup, and then we will get rocking and rolling, guys. We'll take another quick look at our watch list so far, and we'll go from there. So let's take a look here. Our moderators list today: Thor looking at Neo, Baba, Twitter. Secondary list: Pitbot Alert Bot. So Pitbot Alert Bots. Add at Twitter. You can get that and you'll be able to access that. Also, the message will come up here in our chat room. Mike will be looking at Twitter and Baba. Amy will be looking at Tesla. Potential short CCL, WDB. Dima looking at Twitter, Oxy, Baba, and Apple. And Megan looking at AMD and Tesla today. Guys, so every Friday, Thor, what's the time again? Is it 3:30? 3:30, right? So Thor will be watching, we'll be doing a live stream every Friday here. So, Thor, let me know what time that is. I think it's 3:30 you mentioned. Let's see here. Yeah, so every Friday at 3:30, Thor is going to be going live. It's just kind of giving you a weekend rundown. So definitely tune in for that. It's going to be right on YouTube, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So don't miss out on that. And if you can't make it that time, you can always catch the recording later on. All right, very much. All right, let's bring it over here. Carlos has been kidnapped. No, we're here. We're here. Just forgot to switch the screen earlier. We are good. Chris MC. Yeah, it's a pain. Well, you know, if you have a beard and you were during the COVID and the mask, it was such a pain, man, because it never looked right. Once you put that mask on when you walk into the store, it always looked like you had to stay here. It just looked horrible. So, um, gotta have good maintenance on that, that's for sure. All right, guys, we are all set. 9:12 Eastern time. I'll stay on until Andrew and Brian come on. This is you guys are not sitting there with some quiet silence over in our chat room. But once they come on, if you guys are ready, you can hop on and kick me off. But in the meantime, we'll stick around here until they come on. So here it is, guys. Our list today. I have Baba on deck. I think it looks pretty good. Love the daily on this thing. Oxy has a catalyst today, down 2.2, trying to climb out of this 58.60. But we know this can trade very, very well. Here is Twitter. I think Twitter's the one today. I think we'd have a lot of fun with Twitter. I think this thing has been it's going to be very active, especially just all the news going around this. It's going to be interesting. So look at the daily, right? We were here. When was the breakout? The news broke out here, right? That Elon had purchased an X amount of shares. Then the news broke out he wanted to join the board, and then no, he wants to buy out. Man, this thing is talk about drama. Who needs Netflix when you could just follow these companies. So here we go, and then rumors of potentially too many bots drop down, and then now we're down below even where we started at 34 because things are not looking well. And this is why, guys, remember there were comments at that time. People were saying, well, why not just buy? We know that Elon's going to buy this and it's going to be at X amount of price. We know he's going to bring the price up. Look what can happen. This is a great example of, be very careful when you just hear initially a catalyst. Look at this one. This one is falling apart as of right now. Can it change later? Can it come to some kind of agreement? Yes. But if you were in here, if you were chasing it, your money would have been tied up for a very, very long time, right? Who knows how long this thing is going to take, right? If we're ever going to be back to 50 anytime soon. And I'm sure there's people here that bought thinking, oh, this is going to be the next best thing in tech and this and that. Elon's going to take over and take it to the moon. And look now, we're sitting at $34. So just got to be very careful when it comes to chasing things, because sometimes they can fall apart just like this one did right here. So that's Twitter looking very good. I think we're going to have some fun with that one for weeks to come, really. Tesla today, guys, a beautiful pre-market activity on Tesla. We got the volume, almost 900,000. This looks very nice. AMD here is pretty quiet, but it's probably one of the better tech companies compared to our Apple, Nvidia, and so forth. This seems to be the better looking one right now with volume. Pretty flat for the most part, and they all look pretty flat right now. Dwack I think it's going to be a great short opportunity. That's just my own opinion, my bias on this thing. It is up 15%. I just don't see how, I think it's an overreaction, really. And I think we'll be back down to 26, 24 in no time. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm going with this morning. So I'll be looking for some short opportunity if it hits my trade book, right? That's the only way. Okay. I think we're all set, my friends. 9:15. Wait for Andrew and Brian to come on. Guys, remember that we are going to do our onboarding class tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Then right after that, followed by our tech class for any elite members. So if you haven't joined yet, you could do so. Pre-market 24. Join me tonight at 7 p.m. Let's go over a few things. Let's do a Q&A. Let's ask some questions. And on top of that, best thing is you get access to 2 different chat rooms, right? You're going to get access to the main chat here, which is where we are hanging out now. And I don't know why this thing keeps doing that. And then you're going to get access to Ed Martin's chat as well. So you can try out both for an entire week and see which one best fits your style. So with that said, guys, I think we are all pretty good here. Okay, here's Brian the man. He'll be coming on the mic shortly, but he's looking at Twitter, Tesla, PLRX, Lucid, and Baba this morning, all which I think are on our list as well. That is a great list, except Lucid. I don't have a Lucid on here, but that could be a good one too. So sweet. Coffee t-shirt, Brian. So the joke is that Brian trades without a t-shirt, except when he has to turn on the camera. For those that are new to our chat room, so Brian right now is getting his coffee and his shirt on. Rivian and PLTR's bull trader, yeah, both of those I think are really good. Especially PL. Oh, look at PLRX, guys. This thing is running. So we are now hitting a 15, getting above 15. Yeah, this thing's looking pretty nice. Brian, if you're listening, you can jump on the mic. Don't wait for me to get off. I'm actually waiting for you to come on, so don't hesitate. So yeah, PLRX, guys, just taking off here, man. This thing is up 70% and 11 million shares traded. It is on fire. Yeah, guys, if you haven't done so already, thank you, Chris, for reminding me. Let's hit that thumbs up. 226, that's pretty good for a Monday. Not bad. 400 is usually our goal. But man, 227, yeah, we'll take it. Thank you guys, appreciate that very much. So if you like the show, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to do so, and subscribe and hit the bell, because we're gonna go live again Tuesday through Thursday. We're gonna go live with some special guests. Man, we got the list of guests we got coming up for the show is incredible. You do not want to miss the closing bell. There's a lot of great stuff happening, and just again, you're gonna learn a lot, and it's just amazing. Aside from being very entertaining, very educational as well. Artie and Andrew do an amazing job at that show. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, PLRX ripping some more here. 1521 now is the high. 1531 is the high at the moment. So this thing really taking off. The Indigenous Pathway, yes, PLRX could be on top of your list. I have it here as a as a risky stock, because you got to be careful, right? This is not your regular type stock, and you got to have a plan for this. There will be some good scalping opportunities on this thing. This is just one of those tickers that the risk is so high that if you're struggling with, like, discipline, sticking to your stops, be truthful to yourself, right? Be very truthful. If you're struggling with that stuff, this is not a ticker you want to trade. This is outside of your risk tolerance right now, outside of your risk margins, whatever you want to call it. But this is not one you want to trade if you're struggling with stuff like that, right? With very basic fundamentals, because this thing will rip your shirt off if you make a mistake here. So when it comes to risk management, right? So just be mindful of that, DWAC heavily shorted and almost no shares for short. Brian, I agree. There's no shares for short. Is everyone trying to do the same thing? So we all have the same mindset on this thing. Oh, no shares for short. I missed that. That's no fun. All right, let's get rid of this. That's no fun. I wanted to short that thing. That's no fun. All right, DWAC. You know what? I'm not gonna add it to my list. That's a no. We can't short DWAC anymore. At least we don't active brokers. And I guarantee if you probably go search that, for example, if you have CMAG, when I used to have CMAG, you could do short locate, and they'll give you how much the cost is per share. I guarantee you they're not going to be cheap. And for those that use CMAG, by the way, sometimes you might have stocks like AMD, actually really well-known stocks that are not available for short. Try that short locate. You'd be surprised what they do, man. They will not be a price per share, but you just pay $25 and you can get as many shares as you want, right? And there's no price for the share. So very funky what they do there. But if you're trading, if you're up to a decent size for $25 is not a big deal. That could be a good opportunity. All right, Brian is on the mic, guys. Perfect. I will let you guys go. Thank you for joining the pre-market prep. I will see you guys tomorrow or tonight at 7 p.m. Hit that thumbs up and have an amazing day.